Now we're going to do a little something with density, in particular density with liquids. Now, we've learned in the past that everything is made of molecules, those invisible building blocks, and it's a solid or a liquid or a gas depending on how tightly packed those molecules are. Now, it's interesting, in liquids, they're not all packed the same way. So some liquids have their molecules a lot tighter together than other liquids. And I'm going to show you how that works. So what I've done here is I've got 6 different liquids, and I also have them listed here on the slide. I don't know if I'm pointing to the right way. Somewhere on the slide here. We've got corn syrup, dish soap, water. I tried it with food coloring, and then the food coloring kept getting mixed in with other things, so I wouldn't use that. Cooking oil, and boy, I have a lot of that. Rubbing alcohol, and lamp oil. So let's give this a try, okay? I'm going to angle my thing as usual, and I'm not very good at this. You would think, again, after all of this time, that I would be such a pro. All right, I'm going to start with the corn syrup. So put in a healthy amount of that. Blah, 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 blah. If you put the layers in too thin, it's kind of hard to see. Meaning you need to add a lot more liquids than you had wanted. Because I thought, oh, I'll be very good and I will save my liquids and not use very much. But then the layers were super, super thin. And then when they started getting packed on top of each other, it was kind of hard to see. So got some corn syrup in there. Now, dish soap. I'm just going to put that in there. Now, normally, if you are going to be adding liquids in the same cup, you would think that they would mix, right? Like if I took water and the Dr. Pepper or something, they would just mix together. You wouldn't be able to see the differences, but look at that. So that means that corn syrup has more density than the dish soap. All right, let's add some water. I gotta say, one of the things I was afraid of is as soon as I dump this water in, it's just gonna make soapy water. But one way to do it so that doesn't happen is to slowly add it. You don't want to just dump your liquids in. Oh, that's still kind of dumping. But let's see what happens. Can you see the different layers? Hey, 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 you can. Look at there. That looks pretty cool. All right, so we've got 3 very separate layers. Let's add, what's it next? Oh, oil. Now remember, there was another experiment, when we made the lava lamps, that's right. We found then that oil and water do not mix. Okay, did I get enough in there? Okay, it made the water kind of cloudy. But we still have separate layers. Wow, these are really definitely staying separate, aren't they? And there's that water in there, and there's the oil. Oh my goodness, I have been dumping this stuff in there. Putting so much in there, I don't know if I'm going to have enough room for all of my liquids. That's okay, I don't need to put the last one in. So now we're going to put in some rubbing alcohol. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can do this. Here's rubbing alcohol. And that's supposed to sit right on top of the oil. Kind of hard to see, isn't it? Oh, well, it would help if I got it. You can kind of see a little line there. I wonder, though, that if I let this thing sit for a while, if those layers would become a little more distinct, like these are. Very obvious. These are getting kind of muddy, aren't they? That oil and the water, yeah, it's separate, but it just kind of muddy looking. I'm wondering if when I poured the oil in, if the water kind of got in with the soap and that's what's making the water, because I can see every once in a while little bubbles coming up. But they're still staying fairly separate. All right, let's add, you don't really see the rubbing alcohol so much. Okay, lamp oil. There are some lamps, like in the old days, they had wicks, like candle wicks. And they would just use this oil and the wick would go down into the oil. And it would keep their lamps lit. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, that's definitely staying separate, isn't it? Oh, that's pretty. All right, we've got our corn syrup, dish soap, and muddy area right there. That's water. There's oil, and actually, it's going to be really hard for you guys to see, but I can see a separation here. It's kind of this really faint difference between the oil and the rubbing alcohol. And then you've got the lamp oil sitting here on top. Cool. All right, that, my friends, is an example of how liquids have different densities. The ones that are more dense, you even say heavier, those are going to stay on the bottom. And the other ones are just going to sit right on top instead of mixing with them. I was going to say it looks good enough to drink, but oh, don't even, ladies and gentlemen, because this is extremely bad. Lamp oil, rubbing alcohol, no. So, I did this whole experiment without messing up, and now I can't even speak. Wee. All right, you guys, that was fun.